And we want
stand together, we stand as one. We will not be broken, we'll overcome. This is our battle cry, oh hear our drum. We will not be silenced, our voice is one. We stand with power, a heavy force. We come to triumph with no remorse. This is our call to all.
Stolen Spirits is a dedicated community focused on raising awareness and advocating for justice for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. MMIWG, through shared stories, resources, and activism, our mission is to shed light on these often overlooked cases, provide support for affected families, and honor the spirits of those who have been lost.
Hey there. We live?
Yay!
We did it. Sorry we're late, guys. The first live we went late. We were confused on the time.
Not too
So,
bad.
so from here, just so you all know, I can't see the chat and who's in there. So just that. We just wanted to come tonight and like introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about why we're here, and also to touch on the Emily Pike case. So we'll tell you a little bit about each of us. Don't know who wants to go first. We didn't get that far.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm Emery. Welcome to Stolen Spirits. When Brady and I spoke about this page becoming a reality, and she asked if I would be interested in being a part of it, there was no hesitation on my part to say a huge yes. My children and grandchildren are Mayadu out of the Quincy, California area. And what has gone on in our country with murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls is a travesty that has not lessened over the decades. But a light of hope has come with the Emily Pike case growing huge attention and the recent discovery of mass burial sites. My heart breaks for our Indigenous people. This is why I'm here.
Barb, you wanna?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here with us. This is something that I've known about for years and have never had a platform that I was willing to join or be a part of. And when I met Brady and she brought this to my attention, that she's something she wanted to do, I was more than happy to jump on board and go wherever it is we were going to go. And we've come quite a way in some very short months. So bear with us. We have some growing pains still with the lives.
Yes, for sure.
Don't worry, we'll get it together. But we appreciate all of you being here, and we hope that you can see what our focus and our purpose is. And it is about these women and these girls who have gone unnoticed for so long. The attention needs to be brought to the forefront, and something needs to be done. And we feel like as a group, we've been working on that, and we hope to bring more awareness and information that maybe you didn't know. So thank you.
Most of you here know most of us.
Brad.
Most of you here know most of us from
Oh, Maria. Barb, whatever.
Barb, from just being together. We've been a group for a while for other things as well. But I'm Brady. I'm the founder of Stolen Spirits, and I guess I got interested in true crime back in 1986. I had a cousin that was murdered. She was stabbed 12 times in the on her upper back part of her body, and 2 of them being fatal wounds to her neck. That case went unsolved for over 30 years, and the last, it was probably the last 3 years, some of my family started like pushing to get it reopened, restarted, and whatever. And finally, like a year and a half ago, Jason Jensen, who's become one of my friends, solved her case. But because it was overlooked for so many years, they had found the weapon was next to her body. DNA, like all the works, but because it was overlooked for so many years, when they solved the case, the weapon was lost, the paperwork was lost, all the evidence was gone. The guy's sitting home free with his family, and that's one of the reasons why I got into it. And then I started. I've always watched true crime on TV, like anything true crime. And then probably like a year ago, I found YouTube and started following a couple creators, and I love it. And please don't get me wrong when I say this. My reasoning for wanting to start Stolen Spirits, it's like God's telling me to do it for one, but also because as much as I'm into the true crime, and I believe that every child deserves to be found, every child, no matter your race, no matter your, no, it doesn't matter. But following it on YouTube and, well, anywhere, it's usually the same 2 or 3 cases for the longest time, and in between there's nobody else mentioned, and I don't see it covered with the Native Americans, and that is one of the big things that bothers me. Every child deserves to be found. It just doesn't matter. Also, I myself, I come from New Mexico, and I'm Latina. I'm Latina, but I'm also Tewa and Apache, and I even got some Navajo in my blood. And I've seen this happen growing up where I grew up, and so pretty much all of my life. And it just needs to be stopped. Like I don't feel like, how do I want to say this? I don't feel like that a 14-year-old Native child should have to be murdered and dismembered and thrown on the side of the street like trash to bring awareness to, sorry, I get emotional, to bring awareness to all these other kids. Because like this case, I'm afraid that right now it's big and it's brought so much attention, and I'm so thankful that something is coming out of it. But hopefully we're not forgotten about again once this case is over. That's pretty much all I have to say. That's pretty much all I have to say, but that's where I come from. That's how I feel.
Cool.
I come before you today not just as an individual but as a voice, a witness, and a creator dedicated to a mission larger than myself. My name is Zachary Smouse, and I am proud to be a part of Stolen Spirits, a movement committed to shedding light on one of the greatest injustices of our time, the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, MMIWG. As the design expert behind Stolen Spirits, my role is more than just creating visuals. It is about crafting a message so powerful, so undeniable, that it demands attention, resonates with hearts, and inspires action. It is about ensuring that the stories of those taken from us do not fade into the void but instead stand as testaments to their lives, their spirits, and the justice they deserve. In the heart of the American Southwest, where the land tells stories older than time itself, the Four Corners region stands as both a sacred space and a battlefield of sorrow. Here, where the borders of Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico meet, the land is rich with the heritage of the Dine, Navajo, Ute, Hopi, Zuni, Tewa, and countless other indigenous peoples who have called this region home for generations. Their traditions, languages, and cultures are deeply woven into the fabric of this land. But alongside the beauty and resilience of these communities lies a tragic reality. Indigenous women and girls are disappearing at an alarming rate, and far too often, justice remains out of reach. This crisis is not a recent phenomenon. It is a wound inflicted over centuries, from the forced removals and boarding schools designed to erase Native identity to the systemic neglect that allows perpetrators to act with impunity. The Four Corners, despite its vast beauty, has become a region where families live in fear, where daughters, sisters, and mothers vanish into the unknown, and where law enforcement too often turns a blind eye.
Thank you, Zach.
Okay, I am Nicole, and I don't have a big, amazingly well-written speech, but this is just something that I'm interested in and want to be a part of. Brady had came and asked, talk to us about it, and asked if we wanted to join, and just, I don't know, I did. So here we are.
I have to say, I have an amazing team. I wanted to do this for a long time, and I didn't know how, when, where, what. And like I said, being on YouTube, I'm just like, this is it, and these are the people. And I approached all of them, and thank God they said yes, because I couldn't do this alone. It's a lot of work, and it's hard, and it can be emotional at times, but it's so worth it when somebody's located.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can't see chat, so I don't know if anybody's.
I'm watching it.
Okay, I just can't.
Somebody's asking about if we're open to having flyers posted on our Facebook. Brady, you want to answer that?
With Stolen Spirits, we do take flyers, but the way that we do it, because I work with a lady through Navajo Nation that I've talked to several times who like helped me understand like what we need to do to make a page successful and stuff when it comes to MMIW. And part of that is when people send us flyers, if we hadn't seen them already, or we take that and we make it into our own flyer to keep our page the same. And we we share that information out and stuff. But yeah, we're always willing to take missing persons flyers and information. We also like to do our own like that too, because when we get a case, we dig into it to make sure nothing's missed, or to make sure just all the information's on there and stuff. Because sometimes there's been a lot that's been sent to us that when we go to look into it, they've already been found. They were found a couple years ago or like whatever. So we do a lot of research before we actually post them. That's why we do it that way.
We check them, and usually we'll get together and speak with each other, or if somebody gets one, then they'll hand it off to somebody else so we can double check. We just want to make sure that whatever we're posting on our site is the accurate information, because we certainly don't want to put any misinformation out there. There's enough of that already.
There's another thing that I want to add, because I've been asked this before. Why MMIW? Ours is actually MMIWG, Missing Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. And it's not like, I don't want anybody to think, because I've already had it questioned, like, what do we have against other people? It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I'm married to a white man. My grandkids are half white. Like I've got black in my family. I've got every race you can think of in my family. This is because missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls are the least likely to get how do I want to say it, to get noticed, or to be be put on the news, or to be anything at all. Like a lot of the cases you don't hear, and it's hard because even when we try to research some people, there's so little information on some of them. Some of them don't have a last name. We've had some that don't have the first or last name. Some it's just that it's really hard. It's really hard, but yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. It's nothing against any other. There's Facebook pages, YouTube pages, all the pages out there for every different kind of different race and stuff. But this one is important to me, for one, because of my race, and also because it's not covered very often. It's not, and nobody can tell me different. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that, what we've noticed is that the women and girls tend to fall to the wayside. And it's a shame because they're not any less important than the men or the boys that are also missing. And again, along the same lines, and just to reiterate, it's not that we are biased against anybody or that we don't think that everybody should be found. This was developed because we saw a need to bring it to the
MMIW,
forefront.
sorry, MMIW is a
No,
movement, and that's what it focuses on: missing, murdered Indigenous women and girls. And that's because it doesn't get a lot of notarization. So it's an actual movement, and we're just glad to be a part of it. Sorry, Barb, I just had to
no, you're
throw
fine.
that in
You're
there.
fine.
I,
And
I, I had to, I wasn't even sure I was going to bring this up. I had sent Zach some flyers that are not flyer, well, kind of missing persons reports that of people that are missing. And one of my biggest problems is, and this touches me personally because it's happened to me on different papers, different forms for different things. It happened to my brother when we were in court, and it trying to defend your own race. You know, people get offended when Native Americans say, well, they're trying to erase our culture. You don't know that, you don't know how that feels until you put down what you are, and when you get the papers back it says that you're white. That happens to us all the time. So I had sent Zach 4 different, I don't know if he has them, he wants to show them or what, but 4 different things. I looked one day, just one day for 5 minutes in New Mexico looking for people that I can do research on and stuff. And each one of them, there's 2 of the cases that I know, and they are Spanish Native America, one Native American, one is Native American. And you could tell by the names that I know, and each one of them is marked down as they are white. So when you're searching for Native American women to help, and you, like, if I wouldn't have went to one page specifically, we wouldn't have even have known those names existed because they're marked as the wrong race. And that's one thing that really bothers me, and it does make me feel like when people say they're trying to erase our culture, our race, it hits home. I can feel that. Like, I don't know why that happens. I don't know why it is changed like that. But then again, when that name is used, or those names and stuff are pulled to get, you know, for the other missing people and stuff, well, because of those last names and stuff, they don't get pulled as often. So it's just like a, I don't know how you even want to say it, but it's not right. It's not okay. And that's a big issue for me. I don't know how
Mhm.
anybody else feels about that, but it's a big
And
issue.
as we get into researching these cases, we find such tremendous obstacles to finding these girls and these women.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And I think with
Anybody's,
all that said, Brady, I mean,
We can show these next week if that's okay.
yeah, that's fine. No, you don't even have to show them. I was just making it a point to say that. I just wanted to point that out. You don't have to show them, Zach. Thank you, though. Sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
no, you're fine. We, I mean, we have posted flyers for men and
Mhm.
boys in the past. Not obviously not as often, but I don't think that it's something we're completely opposed to, right? Like we are still,
Yeah, we do. Yes, we
as long as
do.
they're indigenous. So,
Mhm.
Mind of Monsters, we will look into that case and see about, you know, what we can do to get him out there as well.
Mhm. And there's also another thing, like people have, oh, I just lost my train of thought. It had to do with that. Sorry, go ahead. I forgot. It'll come back to me. Maybe.
Um,
That had to do with what you were saying. Anyways. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I told you to come back to me. So, like, they have, I've been asked also, why are you posting Hispanic people or whatever? Well, for those of you who don't know, most Hispanic women does have native blood in them. And especially where I'm from in New Mexico, you can have the Spanish names and be Native American. It's so, I've just had people come at me a few times, and I guess it shouldn't even be questioned why we do what we do. Um, there's a reason for what we do, but that's, I just wanted to say that too.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little nervous still.
Yeah. I think please give us some grace. Give us a little
Yeah.
time because we are all like this is a first for us. We're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Um, we'll get better at this
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. Don't know if anybody has any questions or anything.
Um, do we want to get into kind of
To the Emily Pike.
some of the facts on the MMIW and I think you had some facts that you wanted to share as well on
Well,
um
yeah, I wanted to explain what MMIW stands for
Brady,
because I've been asked
hold on.
that too. Go ahead, Zach.
one
Sorry.
sec.
Zach.
Yeah.
The statistics are harrowing. Native women are murdered at rates 10 times higher than the national average. They are trafficked, abducted, and silenced in ways that the broader society has chosen to ignore. Jurisdictional complexities between tribal, state, and federal law enforcement agencies create barriers to justice, leaving families to search for answers on their own. The legal system, riddled with loopholes, fails to protect those most vulnerable. This is why Stolen Spirits exists. At Stolen Spirits, we refuse to let these stories be buried under bureaucratic failures and societal indifference. We fight for awareness, justice, and change. And my contribution to this cause, as a designer, is about more than just aesthetics, it is about impact. It is about ensuring that when someone sees our work, they feel something. That they remember the names, the faces, the pain, and the fight.
Thank you, Zach. Go ahead,
Yep.
Brady. I'm sorry.
Um, what was I going to say? No, a lot of people think that, you know, they see the flyers and it just comes easy. It doesn't come easy. It's a lot of work. I don't sleep a whole lot, and I do have a special needs child on top of that. But um, this is just as important to me, and my family understands that, so I'm lucky for that. But I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say. Anyways, I was just gonna say what like MMIW stands for. It stands for Missing Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls, if you know we do the G. The term is used to describe an epidemic of violence against Indigenous women and girls, mainly in North America. It's everywhere, but and then I've been asked about the red handprint. My shirt, red handprint. Usually, you'll see it placed across the face. Um, it's a symbol of solidarity, and it's like we've been silenced. It's we've been silenced, and so it's to just so people can recognize that. Um, I don't know. It's just like I get frustrated. Even like still, it's Native women are 10 times more likely to be murdered or sexually assaulted, and that's awful. That's heartbreaking. And it, like I said, I have a hard time. Like I will look for any kid on my main page on my own Facebook. I put everybody and anybody who's missing on there. But like I said, this is a movement, and this is hardly gets any attention. And there's that. Anybody? Anybody got anything to say?
Does anybody have any questions or anything that
Yeah, it's like
you want to ask us, or something that maybe you're not clear about what we've said at this point?
I know me and Nicole had talked. Well, we all did, but we were mostly like we were talking about. They were trying to make a new law. That here's another thing that really bothers me. Every child, any child, everywhere and anywhere, should all be issued an Amber Alert. That needs to change so fast, so bad. Nobody should ever be, no child should ever be marked down as a runaway because it they lose time. Um, it's not as important as somebody who's been abducted or whatever. Every kid should be have an Amber Alert. That's like really important. It's like I don't understand why that hasn't been changed yet. And like I
I
have so
thought
much to say
recently
that
that
I can't. Go ahead.
someone was forward with a petition for that, I thought, and I don't know what happened with that.
Well, that's the thing. There was a law that for Emily they had passed, and that's what me and Nicole were talking about. That it, I thought it had passed all the way. I thought this was fabulous and stuff. And Nicole let me know that it's. How did you say it, Nicole? Not all the way. It's not a.
Yeah, apparently it's not like passed. They're still working on it. In fact, the family has created a change.org petition to sign to help get it fully passed. Um,
So it's still out there. Great.
and let's see, they have
Yeah,
140 signatures so far, and it's to sign HB, which I'm assuming means House Bill. Not positive on that. 2281 into law. And just a little bit about that. It says that it's a bill that would create a red feather MMIP alert system similar to the Amber Alert for missing and Indigenous people. So
and
this
they
is
say for
just to help get it. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm bad at that. Sorry. You guys will see that.
Um, this is just to help get it, signed into law and help bring justice to Emily and her family. So it says that this bill is a crucial step in ensuring no Indigenous person's disappearance is overlooked and that the families of missing and Indigenous people receive the support that they deserve. So
And a lot of
that's
people might think too that that is like special treatment or whatever, but um, most of the reservations and homes and stuff are all in rural areas where there is no big businesses, no anything like that. So it, for them to even get a start to look for somebody, they have already lost a lot of time. You don't know where to start out in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, that needs to be passed. I think that's amazing, and I'll be extremely happy if that passed. But honestly, Amber Alert needs to be issued for every single child, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are, every single child.
I agree. And I will say too, that bill is specific to Arizona, so it's
Yeah,
not going
that's
to
the
have
other
the
thing.
whole other
Yeah,
49 states, but and Canada, which also has a pretty big um
yeah,
Hmm.
MMIW presence, I guess, or epidemic, whatever you want to call it. And it's um so yeah, it's a
yeah.
small step in helping, but hopefully other places will follow suit too.
I hope so. It needs to be. It's like, and you guys have seen doing this for what have we been doing it for 5 months now. There's some cases that just blows your mind, and it's like, how did nobody know about this? How has this not been on the news? It's like I said earlier, it shouldn't take something so horrible to happen like it did to Emily. It should be an automatic thing. Like we should be just as important every day, not just when somebody gets uh, torn apart like that, just dismembered, and it's disgusting and it shouldn't be just for coverage, just for one big
Right.
case.
And Nani's comment is exactly, the whole point of this is that, she said to be honest, I honestly don't see many Indigenous missing people reported, and that's kind of,
Hmm.
I think we're just not seeing them. They're just not
Right.
out there. They're not as public. They're not as, we're just not being made aware of them.
Yeah.
We're just not. I mean, I was looking at Emily Pike, the the Justice for Emily Pike Facebook page, and there's like 500 and something people in that group. Whereas, a 95-year-old woman goes missing in my state, and which, not that she didn't absolutely deserve the coverage, but there was over 10,000 people in the group for her. And, where is that disconnect? Like, how does this 14-year-old girl that gets, dismembered, and, she's just not getting any coverage? But that, I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're trying to do our part. We want to help get these names out there, get their faces out there, and help get them found and
Yeah, we work really hard
make
and
a
we're doing
positive
our
change.
best. We're doing our best and we're going to make mistakes just like everybody else, especially because we're a new group. So when you see a mistake on my typing or our flyer or on anything, just ignore it or tell us in private and I'll fix it. But we're human and it's a lot more work than people think it is. I will stay up for nights digging through cases and stuff and then sending them over to Emory and then it just bounces back and forth and it's not easy. And we post a lot of cases out once because we don't want to leave anybody out like that. Like I said, usually it's 2 or 3 kids that are getting the attention and we want everybody to get out there, everybody's names that we can get out.
That's right.
But
Yes,
but for those,
and go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we all um this is this is just something that we're doing because we have a passion for it and we want to. We do all have very busy lives like most people do. Um, you know, jobs that we have to do during the day and children and all the things. So, like I said, just please bear with us and
Yeah,
give us some grace for a little bit. We
yeah.
we are
We appreciate
we're
everybody being here. So yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
we really do.
we're very much in
Exactly.
the learning stage, but it's going to get better.
Yes.
The
And
the other thing I'll point out, it may have already been pointed out, but I was getting a barking dog. We are all on different time zones, so that
yeah,
being said, it kind of we have to kind of try to figure out where we can fill the niche so that we can come to you live. And Brady and Nicole both have children, and Emery's got grandchildren that she has frequently, and Zach and I are just having a party, so don't worry about that part. But we're around all the time, so just again, yeah, just bear with us, and we're we unfortunately, like I said, we are on different time zones, and we're
That's
usually up pretty late. So
Yeah, that's what happened tonight. We were
yeah,
had our first live and our first delay. And I will take the blame for that because I didn't know what time was my mountain time, the right time. So, yeah, I thought it was 9:45 the whole time, but I was wrong. But we'll get it together. We're
yeah,
gonna make mistakes. We're not the only ones who make mistakes.
no,
But
go ahead, Zach.
Through digital design, branding, and visual storytelling, I strive to give our message a heartbeat. Our graphics, posters, social media campaigns, and videos are not just images, they are voices speaking through the screen, demanding to be heard. They carry the weight of a mother searching for her daughter, a brother grieving his sister, a community rising in defiance against a system that has failed them. Every color, every line, every frame tells a story. And those stories fuel a movement that refuses to be ignored. We are in a battle against invisibility. Too often, the media turns its focus elsewhere, leaving Indigenous families to fight alone. But when we harness the power of design and technology, we reclaim control of the narrative. We make the world see what they would rather forget. We give families a way to amplify their cries for justice. We honor those who have been taken by ensuring their spirits are never truly stolen from memory.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Zach.
And we do
yeah,
take that time to make sure everything is just perfect and looks how we want it to look. And we want to honor these girls and these women the way that they should be.
a lot of these missing people on our flyers, I've had several families reach out to me or to our group, and um, we talk to them personally and get to know them. And when one's found, it's like we're so happy and so excited. And but it's also really hard when somebody's found deceased. It's heartbreaking because you've been digging in these cases, and you feel like you know these families, part of the families, and part of who they are and stuff. And it's
That's right.
like I said, it's not as easy as there's been a few times where I've had to post somebody that was deceased that I was like just deep into their cases, and I couldn't post the next day. I couldn't post another flyer the next day. I had to take a minute to catch my breath and to like it's hard. It's very emotional. It's hard. And
We
it's like
grandparents
the
talk to the aunts, and we'll talk to a brother or a sister, and we get in there, and it's very, very hard.
it's like, and like I said, it's personal to me. Like on our intro, um, there's pictures of women all over from different powwows that I've been to and stuff, but there's also um, a few pictures of my daughter who is a jingle dancer, my granddaughter. There's a picture of my great grandmother. It's it's important to me. It's my family. It's other kids that it's we're all sisters and brothers, and it's very important to me.
That's right, Brady.
Which is why we're here, and which is why we hope you're here. Again, it's a work in progress, and every day we take another step. And the plan is to continue to go forward and to put in as many cases and flyers that we can up there to bring awareness. We want people to know about this. We don't want it to be a thought that nobody has. They deserve to be talked about. Their names deserve to be put out there. We shouldn't have to wait until an Emily Pike for somebody to take notice. So
God led me to the right people, though. Like I picked my people to help me with this, and they've been nothing but supportive and amazing. I'm grateful for every one of you, and I do want to mention there we do have one member that's not here, and some of you, I don't know who's in chat, knows him, Funky, Jason. He's not with us here right now. Hopefully he will be back soon, but he's going through some stuff right now and he's sick. So I just want everybody to know there is another member, and he's awesome as well. And to please everybody say a prayer for him, that he gets better soon and fast and can be back with us.
yeah,
Yep.
So we were also going to talk about Emily Pike, and I don't know if who's, like I said, in chat, who knows. I'm sure everybody knows about Emily Pike now, but I'll start with saying she was a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, 14-year-old Native American girl who was found murdered near Globe, Arizona. I'm sorry, I can't think, on February 14th, but she actually went missing on the 27th. Let's see, she was first reported missing late January, the 27th, exactly, 2025. She was last seen walking in an area near Phoenix she was wearing, what was she wearing? Let me see
A
where,
pink and gray shirt.
a pink and gray shirt, yeah. And they found her remains on Valentine's Day. There's, I don't know how you guys feel. There's a few things that really get to me with this case. First of all, we don't want to be the channel that is pointing the finger at anybody. I've already seen it pointed at the mom. Why is she in a group home? Why this? Why that? My answer to this, and I hope everybody respects you're entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to your own whatever you want. But for me, growing up near the reservations, seeing it all my life and stuff, drugs and alcohol huge because of the things that have happened, and a lot of it is a learned behavior and abuse, violence, and a lot of people just it's hard. It's hard, and to blame somebody for how they grew up is it's not okay. When they ask her why Emily was in a group home, for me, it doesn't matter. That's not important. That's not why somebody took her and hurt her. So I don't want anybody in here or on my panel like blaming the mom for that, because we don't know her life. We don't know what she went through. But one thing I can say is she did love her daughter. When Emily first went missing, the group home called the police department that night, and the police department told them that it's their job to let the family know. And the mom didn't know her daughter was missing for, I believe it was over a week, maybe a week. That's so wrong on so many levels. And the day she found out, she was right away posting online, begging for help to find her daughter. And it's horrible that, like I said, the reservation, she out there in the middle of nowhere, no car, no gas, no money, no help. I can't blame somebody like that. Like, you don't know their situation, you don't know their life, what happened, what's going on. But again, Emily didn't lose her life because her mom was trying to reach her help. Where she went to school, sorry you guys, I'm just going on. Where she got sent to a group home, it was over 100 miles away from where she lived. And that's also partly because you can't get that kind of help on the reservation. You're not, it's from what I've heard so far, like I'm totally going off our thing, but what I've heard from that group home has a lot of bad reviews. Again, I don't know what happened. I just know what has been said. But also, you, it was better, not better. How do I say this, you guys? Like, there was better options outside of the reservation. And that's why they get sent like far like that sometimes.
Well,
But
can I
go ahead.
jump in? Let me say this about group homes. First and foremost, for those of you who don't know, I ran my own nonprofit. I was a CEO of a home that I started and had for many years, but I worked with juvenile offenders and substance abusers, boys. Neither here nor there. Most of the time, what ends up happening with group homes is that these kids are usually sent as far away as they can possibly send them. The reason being is because they don't want them leaving. Unfortunately, in this particular case, it's a little harder to get home if you're further away as opposed to if you're down the street or an hour away. And that's the logic behind a lot of it. It doesn't make it right, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, in this particular situation, and from what we've read and what we've uncovered about this home, they didn't really care much, and they don't care much about their kids, and that's a shame, because it gives the rest of these group homes that are maybe doing the right thing and doing a good job a bad name. Emily being in the group home is neither here nor there. The bottom line is that someone decided that it was their right to hurt this child and take her life, and that's where the problem lies. The problem does not lie with her mother, and it doesn't lie with anything else. At this point, it lies with the fact that someone out there, or some persons, decided that they could take Emily's life, and that's just so wrong. It is so wrong. I blame the group home. I'm angry about the fact that they didn't pick up the phone and call Emily's mom and let her know what was going on. There was no reason for that woman not to know. She had every right to know. She loves her daughter.
Well, here's the part with that as well, to add on to that. Like, that day that Emily went missing, she asked if she could call her mom. Again, we don't know the situation. We don't know if she was in trouble and couldn't use, lost her rights for the phone. We don't know what the situation is, but she did ask to call her mom, and she was told no. So the part that bothers me, I guess, like I said, every place has rules, so I'm not even going to get into that. But when she went missing, knowing that she tried to call her mom, that should have been the second place that the group home reached out to after the police, was her mom, to see if she had heard from her or if she was on her way over there or something. But again, she wasn't contacted for over a week. So they were completely wrong on that. Bad
Oh,
move.
that was such a fail for this poor child. And again, her mother, who's now left without her daughter. And it just, it breaks our hearts. And I'm sure there are no words. There really aren't, because there are no excuses. There's no excuses for anybody believing that they could take someone's life. There's no excuses for people making decisions based on who somebody is or who somebody isn't.
You know,
Emily deserved better.
way better. When she went missing, there was another little girl missing at that same time in that same area. And so they don't know if there's actually a search going on for Emily, because there was a search going on for the other girl. And they ended up finding it was Emily, Native American girl. And they reached out to the other girl's dad and had him see if it was his daughter, and it was not. So this man got online and made a post, a memo, whatever you want to call it, saying that a girl was found murdered and whatever he said in there. And I just couldn't imagine. He was made to take it down, but I just couldn't imagine finding out something like that because of somebody just making a post. Like, heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
I agree. And there was also another girl named Veronica Cruz, who is 17 years old, and she's actually been missing from the same group home for about a year, since May of last year. And they had said, and again, we're not blaming the group home. I believe there was even a statement that came out from DCS that said that they don't actually believe that the group home, you know, did anything wrong on their part. They are investigating it though, but there was this girl named Veronica Cruz who's been missing for a year, and um, the group home is kind of just dismissing it. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, she's she was here, but she's okay. Like, we don't know who she's with or where she's at, but we do know that she's alive and she's okay. So basically, this girl just doesn't. She has made contact with people, so they do know that she's alive, or you know, I guess somehow they know that she's alive, and well, but she's hiding out. She's refusing to tell like where she's at because she doesn't want to have to go back. She'll be 18 in a month or two, I think, and so I think she's basically just, or it sounds like they're saying that she's basically just hiding out until she turns 18. But I think just the fact that she's been gone for a whole year, and they're not even trying to look for her. The group home,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh yeah, she's okay. They're just assuming that she's okay, but if you don't know who she's with and where she's at, then that's kind of concerning to me.
Yeah, that's another thing people need to understand, is like when people will write on some of our flyer on our posts or whatever, and they'll say, "Oh, this person's found," or "We know they're fine. They're over here. They're whatever." If your name is still on the database, missing persons database, your flyer's staying up until you get taken off. Um, Go in and get your name taken off. Yeah, we've had people question that, and They don't understand why we just don't take their word for it. Well, I've also had people leave comments saying this person's found, and then the family comes out and says they've not been found. They are not. They're still missing. There's some people who do stuff like that just to mess with people too, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Once again, you need to know, we check and we double check our flyers to make sure that the information that we're posting and putting out there is the most current information and that it's right. Because again, we don't want to have somebody see that and cause them any heartache or make it seem that we just are just posting something to post it. We check and we double check and then we check again. And we do this throughout the time that the flyer exists.
These
Right.
pictures that he's showing, they're from different candlelights. The one right there happens to be one of mine. I went to a candlelight vigil for Emily Pike. What was it, last weekend? And I got to meet some of her family, and the sweetest people. The sweetest people, and just to see them hurt like that, and it's like, it's just heartbreaking, and it's sad to know that there's there's my son, but there's more than the one case. Imagine all the people that never hear anything or never. Um, I've had a flyer made. We've had that the other night. I had somebody reach out to me and say they had attempted to make a flyer, and they sent it to me, and it made no sense. And I had to talk with them on the phone and get some information so we can put them together a flyer. And you know, it's sad. It's really sad. That picture right there is some of Emily's family. She has family that is from Denver, Fort Collins area, and that's her family right there. Her two aunts and their families.
Something else I wanted to mention is that there is a $75,000 reward currently for any information on the person who killed Emily. So, um, person or persons, I guess. So, if anyone has any information, then you can reach out to I believe it's Mesa Police Department. We look.
The for Emily,
Mm-hmm.
there is Gila County took over the investigation, and they're working with the FBI and Bureau of Indian Affairs for San Carlos Apache Tribal Police.
Okay.
I have the numbers. Would you guys like me to say the numbers in
Yes, please.
case? So the Gila County Sheriff's is 928-200-2352. The Bureau of Indian Affairs Special Agent is 505-917-7830. The San Carlos Apache Tribe Police Department, 928-475-1755.
It's fantastic that that award went up from
Yeah.
went up from 50,000 to 75 recently. It's amazing.
Hopefully somebody steps forward, and that there's other confusion like between people, like what they think and stuff. There's that group home had 30 missing kids in the last 3 years. But it's hard to, it could have been the same kid 3 times. They have to report them every single time they go missing. Like what were you saying the other day, Nicole? Like you read that even if they're like just an hour late, it still has to be reported.
Yeah, if curfew is at 11 p.m. and they decide at midnight that they want to run down to the store or go meet a friend for an hour, then they still have to report them as missing, even if they come back within the hour. So they said, it doesn't matter if they're missing for an hour or for days, they're still reporting them as missing. So, you know, sometimes kids will be kids, whether they're in a group home or not, and they will, go out after
Yep.
curfew. Well, that means that they
Yep.
have to be automatically reported as missing. So while we look at the report and we see, oh, they've had 30 missing, reports in the last 3 years, and that seems like a whole lot, but then whenever you look at it that way, it's kind of like, well, maybe it's not a lot. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's
Yeah, well, we
typical
know
of a
that
It is a
Emily went
lot.
missing more than once too,
yes, yes,
so,
she
and
did.
those were counted each time. So, yeah.
Now, Battlefield was asking about shirts.
Our Stolen Spirit shirts.
Yeah, where he could possibly get one or how to order one.
I haven't like started sell. Well, we wasn't even planning on selling them. I had some made for me for a powwow I was going to, and that was one of the ways that I started to as well. I go to a lot of powwows. I always have. My family always has. Um, but I started even before we started Stolen Spirits. I would print flyers and take them and pass them out. When I was in Denver, New Mexico, I even went as far as North Carolina. And um, if you want to help, that's a good way to do. Print flyers and hand them out, put them on windows, whatever. But the shirt, that's what I had it made for originally. Right now, I'm getting some made for my team. Um, I mean, eventually, yeah, we can start. If anybody wants to buy one, we would love for people to share our name. I mean, that would be really great. We're still just trying to figure out what we're doing on YouTube on the screen. So yeah, but yeah, I would definitely be willing to figure something out like that. It hasn't really been a thought because I wasn't sure if people would want to wear our name or not. But
Yes, and Brady, Mind of Monsters is asking if we worked with Native Hope. I don't think that we have we?
no, it does not sound familiar to me.
It doesn't, but um, we'll definitely look into it if it's something that we need to look into for sure. We just, so we started our Facebook group. What was it like was it September or October?
I think it says 5 months ago. It might be closer to
Yeah.
6 now,
Yeah,
but
and I feel
yeah,
like in some ways it took off a lot faster than we were kind of expecting,
it
which is
really
great.
did.
But yeah, we're still learning. We're still, making connections and seeing where we can kind of fit in with all of it, and how to just where
How
our
to
place
break it
is
up?
in all of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Like she said though, it's growing a lot faster than like we thought. Like we're literally getting maybe 50 to 100 new members like every day or every other day, and so learning to work like it's hard to get back to people. Like this is our group, this is the size of our group right here, and me and Nicole both got special needs kids. We've all got lives, and so we're a little bit slow. The more it picks up, we get a little bit slower maybe, but we're doing our best. So that's all I can say about that.
yep, I agree. One other thing I wanted to mention on the Emily Pike thing, on her case, and it's not, I guess, directly related, but just something that I found interesting. We saw that there was a man named Leo Ham, um, White,
Yeah.
and he is a 31-year-old man, an indigenous man that was shot to death in his car on September 21st of 2021, and it was at the exact same mile marker that Emily's body was found, like where she was dumped at. So they did say that, while like they believe that she was murdered somewhere else and
Brought
taken
there.
to that spot, and he was found in his vehicle. They believe he was murdered right there in that spot, but it was literally within feet, pretty much, of each other.
Yeah,
Um,
almost like it's somebody's
which
spot.
is could be totally unrelated, but it's also just kind of an interesting little um, piece of information. They were both indigenous, and they both at the exact same mile marker on this,
Suffer.
big long road.
See that picture right
Um,
there? Hold, sorry, Nicole, hold on one second. That picture that's up before it flashes away. That picture right there, I want to show you how loving this family is, okay? This was when I went to the vigil, and their family put together a dinner and fed all of us that went. While they're grieving and they're hurting, they put together a dinner for us that went. To me, that's amazing. That shows their love, it shows their heart, and it, they're beautiful people. I just wanted to say that. Sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
no, no, you're fine. That was just about all I had on that anyway. It is his case is still unsolved. They have a few leads, but it is unsolved. So, but just something that makes you go, hmm.
Yeah, when you told me that it was the same spot, I was kind of like mind blown. And then I don't know if anybody else has heard of the case of the, what was it, 9 students, but I think they went from the age of like, was it 17 to 27, something like that,
Right.
Yeah.
that were found 3 hours from there. They were supposedly on vacation in Mexico. I don't know all the facts, so don't quote me, but they were found. Um, like I said, 3 hours from where Emily was, and they there was 4 people in a trunk and 5 people under a tarp, and each one of them had their hands cut off, just like Emily. And their hands were still on the location, though they were all in one bag, except for a few that were in the trunk, but or in the car. But again, that's so close to the same area. It's like it makes you wonder what's going on. Is there, could it be a serial killer? Could it be cartel? Could it be there's like so many questions, and um, that's a scary thought. And then wasn't there? Where was that other mass grave found at around that same time?
That
What
was
was it
what?
like 40 pairs of shoes, tons of bones, and
I
it's
think it was like
like,
400, maybe
was
400
it
pairs,
400?
if I remember.
Uh,
I could be
The
wrong.
first
It's
one
been
was
a while.
100, I think, and then there was another one after that. It was 400. There's been two.
Yeah, and it's like, think
It's
about that.
horrific.
And on that same highway, think about that for a minute. Like, something needs to be done. It's like something needs to be done.
They're starting to call them extermination sites, and it just absolutely breaks my heart.
Mhm. Yeah, it's unreal. It's like these poor families, like I couldn't even imagine. They found their wallets and their jewelry and their bones for crying. It's like horrible, horrible.
Yep.
Can anybody read chat? Is there any?
Yeah, I'm answering some questions, and I'm thanking some people, and well, everybody
Let me
basically.
scan through
But there's
there and
no
say
no
hi
real
to a few
questions.
people. Let me see if I can see who's in here. Make sure my camera's off so my face isn't against the screen because I can't see. Um,
You want me to tell you?
let's see. I see Nani. Hi, Nani. Brittany. Mayhem Huntress. Emery and Barb. Dean 45. I wonder if that's my friend Dean from here. Rocket Queen. Chicken Snake. And
Matthew.
Jackie, of course. Matthew.
Did you already say Nani?
I said
Yeah.
Nani. Uh-huh. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm sorry if we're a little bit rough around the edges, but we're here for a good reason, and um, we just appreciate you guys being here and helping us grow. And we got some pretty good mods. Thanks, guys, for being here to help, watch the room and stuff. We appreciate every one of you.
Absolutely.
Guys are awesome.
Brittany's in here.
I said Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
One person's here.
We know it's
Well,
late.
Yeah, we probably need to
um,
Yeah.
I was
get
just
to
gonna say we know it's late like for us to go live and stuff. But again, you got to remember we two of us have kids, and um, Barb's in the middle of moving, and Zach's busy doing 5,000 things, and Emery's like everybody's doing something. But so we'll play with the time and the dates, so things might bounce around for a little bit. But for right now, to do our first live, which we were supposed to do back in November, but ended up not doing it. But this was the best time we could come up where we could all be here tonight, except for Funky, like I said. But keep him in your prayers that he's here back with us soon. You got
Before we
something?
end though, I do want to make sure I want to show Zach. Have we gotten to the mural pictures yet? I definitely want to show those because it was absolutely beautiful.
Is
Um,
that
We did, Huntress. Thank you.
is that screenshot that up? Is that the one from Steph? I can't really see it. Is that
yeah,
the
that's
one
from
from?
from her mom, I believe. Is that
This is
okay?
sad. This was from her mom.
Yeah, see,
Hmm.
there was a few of them, and I think, let me get my glasses so I can see. I think this one is where she was really sad actually. Emily's body had already been found, and that's when they had told the other man that a body was found and might be his daughter's. Well, her mom didn't know that her body was already found, and she was still holding on, just wanting her daughter back. And when I read that, it broke my heart, literally broke my heart. That's stuff that she was posting on the internet.
Yeah, very sad.
I took some notes so we could do this, and I didn't follow not one of them because I told you I open my mouth and everything just comes out. I'm sorry, guys.
I did too, and yeah, it it just doesn't go the way that you hope, but that's okay. Like you said, or like I think we've said many times, it'll get better. It'll get better.
Yes.
But so the mural that we have a picture, we have a couple of different pictures in here somewhere of them, or of it, and it was a mural that was um painted on the San Carlos Apache tribal land, and it was on the water tower. It was painted by a local tattoo artist named AJ Larson and a few of his
Right
friends,
there,
and
right
then
there.
some of the community members.
Go back one. There
Um,
you go. There you go. That's beautiful.
um, and if you can kind of notice there on the side, like her dress, it kind of branches off into handprints. So like people from the community were able to come and paint their hands red and put their handprints on the water tower to make it part of the image. And I don't know, it's just the thought that they put into it and the detail. It's incredible, and
It
it's
is.
just so freaking beautiful. I can't get over how amazing that is. So
It
an
really is.
amazing tribute to Emily Pike.
Hmm.
Isn't that something?
You know, I hope we didn't like. I hope you all come back and be sure and share our names out there and stuff. And Stolen Spirits MMIWG. I'm actually going to a powwow this Sunday. I'm trying to get some business cards made. I haven't gotten that far yet, though, to where I want to start handing those out as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things we want to do. There's a lot of we're not going to stop. We're not done. This is important to all of us, and it's extremely important to me. And the more that the group that gets into it and digs into it, it's become so important, like to each one of us, and for different reasons. And I'm just thankful for my group. I'm thankful for our new mods. I'm thankful that you guys agreed to support what I wanted to do, the mission for missing women and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
I'm glad that you asked us to do this, that you know, brought it to us. And um, you know, I think I've always been into true crime, like since I was pretty young. And this is just kind of like right up my alley, but this is totally different. It's like once you get involved in a way that is actually helping. It's not just talking about it, it's advocating, it's you know, putting their faces out there, it's creating flyers and showing, you know, showing these people and what they go through and just trying to raise awareness. It just feels different than just sitting down and watching, you know,
Right. And that's what,
facts about a
people,
case.
yeah,
It's
out of sight, out of mind. People don't know it's not happening because it's not put in their face. And
right.
the movement is growing bigger by the day.
Hmm.
Hopefully it stays at this speed and nobody stops. Also, just before we go, next week we'll we'll post what our time is. We got some more talking to do about our time, but um, next week we're going to a lady had reached out to me like what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe,
Yeah.
and through this with Emily Pike, with all of it bringing all this attention now and stuff, she thought this was a good time to bring back her mom's case, and I agree with her 110%. Her mom, like my cousin, was murdered. Hers was like 30 years ago, 31, 2 years ago. And here's the thing with that. Um, they know who did it, but it's kind of the same situation over the years. It kind of got swept under the rug. And anyway, they want justice for her. I want justice for her. The more I talk to them, I become friends with her family. And the more I talk to them, I just want this so bad for them. I want this so bad for them. I knew what it felt like to get closure for my cousin, even though the guy didn't get arrested. But to know, we know who did it. They're going to be here next week. We're going to have them on panel. It's going to be the daughter and I believe it's the cousin. They want to join us and come and tell about their mom's case and bring awareness to that case. And so hopefully we can bring attention to them and help their mom's case be reopened back up. Well, it's never been closed. Let me say that again. It's never been closed, but they've never done anything with it. And I'm just praying to God that they didn't lose all the evidence like they did in my cousin's case. That's a long time to hold on to stuff, so they're going to be here next week. So I'm really excited about that, to bring awareness to their mom's case. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Beth.
Thank you so much, Brady, for letting us be your team. We appreciate this opportunity for helping this movement grow.
You're welcome. I love you all. I love you all very much. I hope you know that. Like I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, and I wouldn't know what to do without you guys. Like, seriously. Don't make me cry, Zach. I do. I love you all, and I appreciate you, and I just want you guys to know that too. And even Funky,
Yeah.
even though he's not here.
Yes, I was just about to say, Funky, we love you. We're praying for you, and we hope that you'll be able to join us soon.
Yep. Get back here soon.
Back to us, Funky.
Yeah, I need my wood chipper.
So should we go ahead and close this? I don't know
Yes.
how long we've been on. But thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for joining us. Please share and subscribe. We need to build. Our Facebook is growing fast. Our YouTube is not, but that's our own fault for not going live sooner. But yeah, just please share and get us out there.
And please hit that like if you can on
Yes.
your way in, out, or in both.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We
Help us
wanna-
get these beautiful names and faces
That's
out
right.
there.
Please.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Zach.
high, there I will be, there I will be. Soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me. Down the road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh. Hey-lo, hey. Hey-we-oh, hey-oh. Hey-oh, hey. Hey-we-oh, hey-oh. Hey-oh, remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there I will be, there I will be, soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free.